Okay, all right. Hello again. I am Dr. Taylor. I am your host of the Ageless Blueprint. This is where we talk about body, mind, and spirit, and we put together holistic health with spirituality to try and create a new reality for ourselves and for our family and for really the community at large. So, if you are new here, we want to welcome you. This is our third episode. We're trying to improve every time. I have a new little setup here. I got a new camera. So, I'm really trying to make this as good as possible. So, my first two episodes, I talked about myself, talked about kind of my story, the purpose, and if you want to see those, that's on agelessblueprintpodcast.com. You can go there and see the first two episodes. But now we're going to talk about you and how we can help you. And if you've seen my first two episodes, if you haven't seen my first two episodes, I'm going to give you a quick rundown. I'm an son of a Baptist minister, grew up in Nashville, went to Vanderbilt University, came to Atlanta where I am now, and went to Emory University for medical school. And I did a residency in OBGYN. After a few years, my wife started to have some issues that seemed to be hormonal. I tried to fix them by doing what I'd learned in my residency, and I found out it didn't work. I want to keep giving thanks to a patient who asked me a question about bioidentical or natural hormones, and my wife and we began to research that, and it changed our lives. We wrote two books called "Are Your Hormones Making You Sick?" and we wrote another book called "The Stress Connection," and we're going to talk a lot about that in future episodes. And from those two books, I went around the country and around the world talking about a different way to look at hormones in women. And the first thing that changed my mind, and the title of this episode is, "Did you know that spitting could change your life?" Now that sounds kind of crazy, but what changed my life is learning about saliva testing. And that's what we're going to talk about today. I want you to really understand saliva testing and how it changed my life and how it can also change your life just by knowing the information that you can find in saliva to help you identify hormonal imbalances and for us to correct those imbalances and to make sure that those imbalances are managed appropriately. And that's what I learned by spitting. Okay. My wife spit. We saw what her estrogen and progesterone imbalance was. We saw what her cortisol problems were. And we're going to show you some examples of those today. And it changed our lives. It changed my career. It didn't just change my life, it changed my career. And it can change your life also. So that's what we're going to talk about. Now, I did a residency in obstetrics and gynecology, and we never drew blood for hormones. We just didn't. And I told you before, in medicine, it's a see one, do one, teach one. So I never saw anybody draw blood or even look for hormone imbalances. So I never did it and I never taught it. Okay. Because I didn't see it. And so what happened is that I just did what I was taught to do. And Rebel, my great producer, can you throw up that first slide? I'm going to show you what I was taught. This is the one about gynecology made simple. And do you have that? You have that first one? Okay, there you go. All right, so gynecology made simple. Now, it wasn't framed like this, but if you break it all down, this is what I was taught. Okay? Now, just think when you go to an OBGYN, what happens? Okay. Now, if you're less than 45, see, the only thing that you really had to know is how old was the patient. Because if the patient's less than 45, just think, if you're a woman and you go to the OBGYN, what is going to happen? If you complain of irregular bleeding, you're going to get birth control pills. If you have what they call PCOS, and we'll talk about that, what that really is, what are you going to get? Birth control pills. If you say you have PMS, if you're less than 45, I guarantee you, one of the things you're going to get is birth control pills. That's going to be the first remedy. Okay, then we didn't test anything. We don't know what your hormone levels are. We're just going to give you birth control pills. And that is because the birth control pills just shut down your hormonal system, and those control pills take over all of the hormone duties. So we just get rid of your natural ability to control your hormones, and we just replace it. Okay. Now, if you're over 45, you're going to get hormone replacement. They're going to try and give you estrogen testosterone pellets. They're going to say they're drawing your blood, but I guarantee you that blood does not tell you anything. Next time, if you're getting pellets or whatever, you ask them to explain that blood test to you, and they won't be able to explain it. Okay? They will start out and say that all of your hormones are low. If you're menopausal, that's because your ovaries have stopped making hormones, but you have other organs that also make hormones, especially your fat tissue. All right. And then when they give you those hormones, you're going to very rarely see a change in your blood level because that's not where the hormones hang out. All right. So just ask them to show you and explain a blood test. All right. Now, how did I go through an OBGYN residency and never ever draw blood or never test for hormones? Well, you get hormone replacement. If you put that slide back up, if the birth control pills and the hormone replacement doesn't help, then they're going to give you an antidepressant. And so why do they give you an antidepressant? Well, they give you the antidepressant so you don't feel so bad about how bad you feel. All right. So you're coming in frustrated, complaining. So they say you must be depressed. You're anxious and depressed. Let's give you an antidepressant. No one ever draws your antidepressant level. Okay. Because there is no antidepressant level. All right. Now, if neither one of those things work, then you just cut out the problem. Okay. We take out your uterus, take out your ovaries. And then when you have a problem, the doctor says, well, hey, look, all your organs are gone. I don't know what the problem is. We're going to have to send you to a psychiatrist. And then they diagnose you as bipolar and so on and so forth. And just
Wait a minute, Dr. Taylor.
What?
that seems very extreme that they would go all of this and then say, I don't know what's wrong.
Ask any woman what they've experienced. I'm not telling you that is what is taught, but that is the reality of the situation. Ask any woman who has had hormonal issues. That is the process that conventional medicine takes you through.
Don't they see the problem in this though? Because they're giving you something that imbalances you. The hormone, the birth control, that gives you an imbalance because it's taking away what it's supposed to do. Then they give you, what was that? Let me see. And
well, it births up. Then they give you an antidepressant because you keep coming in complaining, and the doctor is the.
They skip the hormone replacement. So it's birth
if you're
control,
over 45, under 45 is birth control.
Then it's hormone replacement to replace what you took away. Then it's antidepressant because you must be crazy because something's wrong with you. Then all right, well just cut it all out so you won't have any problems. And then after they cut it all out, then you must be absolutely nuts because there's nothing we don't know. So it's your problem, right? That's what I'm getting from this.
Rebel, it's comical, it's illogical, but it's see one, do one, teach one. It doesn't say see one, think about it, evaluate it. Does it make sense before you go and do it? And then make sure it works before you go and teach it. No. Okay. It's crazy. Now I'm going to tell you, what do you see? Who profits from that scenario? Do you profit from it?
No, the doctors do.
No, let me tell you, the doctors don't, because I didn't make any money by giving birth control pills. The pharmaceutical company made all that money.
Pharmaceutical companies make the money.
Make the money. Okay. The only way a doctor can really make any significant amount of money is by surgery. And then even managed care is making that. Well, that's not profitable. That's why I got out. I got out of it because that scenario was crazy. It did not work for my wife. And I realized it's not working for my patients either. And so I tell patients, hey, would you ever take blood pressure medicine if the doctor never, ever took your blood pressure? You would say, hey, doc, don't you need to check my blood pressure before you keep me on this medicine? Would you take cholesterol medicine, which I don't think you should be taking anyway, but would you take it if they didn't show you a cholesterol level that was 250? You usually demand a test before you would take a therapy.